that when we start off, kind of when you first find out that this is the situation that you're going to be responding to, what's going through your mind?
Well, anytime our command center gets a call, you know, the first thing in our mind is how are we going to help this person? And so regardless of who calls us or what the circumstances are, we're looking to get out there as quickly as possible and make sure we assist the person in need, whoever they are.
What can you tell us about the incident? Just walk us through how everything unfolded.
We received a call around 10:30 this morning and instantly jumped into action. There was a Coast Guard helicopter actually already up doing training. There were also 2 Navy helicopters in the area. And as we know now, there was a fishing vessel Jamie, that was in the area. So our crews headed out there. We're able to rescue 2 people out of the water. The fishing vessel Jamie, who we're very, very grateful for, was able to assist as well. And we're happy to have brought everyone home safely today.
And we did see 2 of the men, 2 of the pilots, be able to walk off. Can you give us some more information about their condition, or all 4 of the pilots?
All 4 of the pilots have minor injuries but are in very high spirits.
Tell us, you know, after surviving a jet crash, walking in as a fellow service member, that must be a miracle, right?
We're grateful anytime we can bring anyone home safely to their families, regardless of the incidents, and obviously we have a special bond with our sister service, the Navy.
Did the pilots and the naval officers, did they eject from the jets, or could you tell us about that?
Those details are under investigation, and it would be best posed to the Navy. We simply responded to what we knew what was going on and to help people that were in need.
Just to clarify, did the fishing vessel retrieve all 4 from the water and bring them aboard the fishing vessel, or were some taken on the vessel and some hoisted up into the helicopter directly from the water?
We're still getting the actual details, but my understanding as of right now, 2 individuals were a rescue swimmer retrieved them from the water, and 2 individuals were retrieved from the fishing vessel, and one of our rescue swimmers deployed down and retrieved them from there. We will have hoist cam footage available later this evening that should lay out the rescue in entirety.
Do you know what will be happening with the jets in the water? Anything? Is the Coast Guard kind of monitoring where they are, or is it the Navy that's monitoring where they are? Is there recovery of the aircraft happening right now?
The Coast Guard works with the Navy in any of these situations to determine how they want to proceed with the aircraft, and we'll continue to work closely with the Navy in that case.
How long was it till the Coast Guard arrived on scene to get these pilots out of the water or into the helicopter?
I'm not really sure the length of time that was between the 2, but I'm sure we'll get some better clarification on the timeline later this evening.
Do you have any information about the conditions in the water at the time, and the wind, water, waves, anything like that at the time?
No, I don't, ma'am. Unfortunately, both of our aircraft are headed back to the air station right now, and once we get in touch with the actual pilots and the rescue swimmers, it'll give us a better idea of conditions on scene.
Will there be another briefing today?
We are working. Petty Officer Littlejohn will be headed down to Air Station Elizabeth City, and we'll be facilitating interviews in Elizabeth City with the pilots and the rescue swimmer. And we will also be releasing that footage at some point.
Now, looking back on just kind of the day's events, what did you say, how did the Coast Guard respond to it? How was their service to this?
It couldn't have gone better. It was a textbook rescue in a manner of speaking, and we're really grateful. This kind of shows the inter-service cooperation between the Navy and the Coast Guard, and it's times like these where everything works out perfectly for everyone, and we're just so happy we can bring these Navy service members home to their families.
And how are they doing, the survivors of this? Have you talked to them at all?
I didn't get to speak to them. They were in with the doctors, but what we heard from the doctors is they're in obviously high spirits and happy to be back on land.
And again, just minor injuries that
Minor injuries, yes.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
And also, would you like to talk about the fishing vessel and it being at the right place at the right time?
You can't really ask for something better than that, and we're so grateful for the commercial fishing vessel rendering assistance, and we really appreciate any time a Good Samaritan vessel can help someone out on the water in need at any point, and this was a great way to show how mariners give back to people in distress.
what will the Coast Guard's role be going forward, or does it end with those helicopters taking off?
It pretty much ends with the helicopters taking off, and we're standing by ready for the next search and rescue case.
Were you all informed from the crash, from the vessel, that the Jamie, were you all informed by them? Or?
No, we were informed by the Navy.
Okay. So what, on top of inside the helo, who's in there and who does what? You have a diver, pilot, and do you have a medic on there also?
We have 2 pilots. We have a flight mech, and we have a rescue swimmer. The flight mech is the individual in the cabin that assists with the equipment hoisting the swimmer down. The swimmer, who we refer to as the diver, he's the one that goes down, whether it be on a fishing vessel or into the water, to retrieve the person. And they're trained in basic medical care to assess the individual and what's the best way to get them home.
So in that case, the swimmer would have been hoisted down into the water with a basket, place the pilot or flight officer in the basket, that person's hoisted up, then the swimmer's hoisted up? Is that how it goes?
There's various ways that the swimmer will actually conduct the hoist. I don't know which method they actually employed. It may have been, there's baskets, they can actually hoist in their arms, so we'll have to get to the footage to see how they hoisted in this case.
Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem.